Chapter 16. On a flying horse, the trip from Dworgen to Rimuru apparently took just one day. They were soon off, with Gazel promising to visit again soon. And he did. Well, Rimuru, the king half shouted as he dismounted. Here I am, as promised. Didn't you just leave 2 days ago? I couldn't help but point out. What are you talking about? Your fellow swordsmanship pupil is here to visit. I thought you would be happier. I hate people who obviously never listen to anyone else. And that fellow, crap again. He wasn't even trying to hide the fact that he wanted to be my big bro at the sword dojo. It was really starting to affect his majesty as a dwarven king, and I didn't think I was imagining that, either. And he came alone this time. Did he even have the time for this? As I silently stewed over these doubts, Kaijin came running up to me. Your Majesty, he shouted, you didn't sneak out of the castle, did you? PFF'd. Can you believe it? 100-man security detail, and not one noticed me escaping. Such ignoble slackers. It's right back to hard drilling for them when I return home. Well, I mean, they can't handle someone like you, my liege. Did you want to say something, Kaijin? And no, your Majesty, nothing. Oh, capital, then, considering the speed at which he sprinted up to us, Kaijin was surprisingly weak against his king. He was refuted before I could even get a word in edgewise. So what brings you here this time, your Majesty? Well, simple, really. You recall how I exiled you both from Dworgen based on my own personal judgment, so that's why I had to come here. And you will recall how our covenant included the sharing of technological expertise. Well, I've brought along the perfect man for the job. He tossed the bag he was carrying on the ground. It began to wriggle around. What on? Flustered, Kaijin opened the bag, only to find a skinny, pallid man flying out. Oh, geez, Vester. I couldn't help but shout. Why here, precisely. I banished him from the palace as punishment for his scheming against you, but it'd be a waste to let him just play around for too long. So I brought him here. I had no response to that. My liege, what do you mean by, so I brought him here, exactly? Do you even understand what it would mean, having Sir Vester work here? Don't want him. Of course I don't, your Majesty. You would be leaking all his knowledge to us. Kaijin was impassioned about pleading his case. Deep down, I guess he's more serious-minded than I had thought. Vester, meanwhile, didn't seem like he knew what had happened yet. I guess he was in that bag for the whole previous evening, on a winged horse, so I couldn't blame him. Leak, you say? Gazel returned Kaijin's look of concern. Well, a bit late for that now, is it not? It was already leaked the moment you left us. I honestly considered asking my covert team to assassinate you, do you realize? My liege, is that? It's true, I called it off, though, after quite a bit of thought. There is nothing I hate more than wasting good talent. And that's why I want Vester working here. Vester's eyes sparkled at the words. Your Majesty, and don't you get the wrong idea, Vester. I have not absolved you, but as I said, I have great expectations for you. You may no longer serve me, but I hereby grant you the right to pursue your duties here. Make use of your natural talents and show me you can live an honest, fruitful life for a change. King Gazel, Kaijin sounded like he was beside himself. Should I take this to mean you're fine with letting us take every piece of dwarven technology you have? The king laughed, like it didn't bother him in the least. PFF'd, let me give you this request, then. I want you to take this land we stand upon now and harness it to create technology like none seen before. You understand me? Your research should not rely on previous perspectives. You must work more freely than that, as you conceive new ideas. That is the whole reason why I have allowed the free exchange of technology between my nation and yours. So this was his aim the whole time, I thought, as Gazel pressed his full royal authority upon them both. He wasn't just looking at my skills, he had his eyes on Kurob's forging abilities, Shuna's weaving, even our top-secret potion development. His keen sense of self-interest let him sniff out what we were doing here, to some extent. No wonder the Dwarven Kingdom had been so prosperous for so long. In some ways, I was less than thrilled by it. He just kept leading us around by the nose as if he was reading my mind. He probably has the skill to read the mind. Less than understood. It is certain that the individual named Gazel possesses mind-reading skills. Greater than, so you knew. Less than affirmative. Greater than. Why didn't you tell me before? Less than understood. If we had blocked it, he might think of my master as the enemy, so I decided I would be best if my master doesn't know it greater than. I guess it's true, but does that mean he knows about your existence? Less than negative. He can only read surface level information, so he can't hear conversation between me and my master, hence he is not aware of my existence greater than. Phew, that's great. Oops, bet my covert force has caught up to me by now. I'll be on my way, then. In a flash, he was on his horse. Vester, he said with a final nod, may you strive as much as you can to succeed in your research. Why, your majesty, Vester nodded. This time, I promise I will not let you down. I am off. Then he flew away. A very sudden arrival, and a very hurried exit. The man was like a living thunderstorm. The king had left Kaijin and me staring at each other. Kaijin, are you sure your nation's safe with such a freewheeling man ruling it? Who can say? He's been ruling for centuries, so I imagine we'll be fine, but... Certainly, he was not so flighty when I served him in the palace. Ah, well, I'm not one to speak, I suppose. And I wasn't. I always play around with Gobta or do some experiments with my skills. While ignoring my duty, then Ren has to come and find me. She glares at me and then drags me back to my office. In a way I am lot more freewheeling than Gazel. But you can't blame me. In my past life I spend most of time working. I was full of regret when I was dying. That's why I swore to myself that in this life I will enjoy myself. Sir Rimuru, Sir Kaijin, Vester was there, head bowed downward. I deeply apologize. Please, let me atone for matters first. And if you will forgive me, please, I hope you will let me work here. I hadn't forgotten the trap he almost sprang on us. But Vester's eyes were clear now, not filled with the avarice from before. I can trust him, I thought. Well, I don't mind, I said, but you have to promise not to cause any trouble. Quote, yes I will, Vester replied. Good, I replied with a smile, welcome to town, Vester. Vester needed a job and quickly. This time, I actually had just the thing. Our Hippocute growing operation was finally starting to gain some steam, so I figured we could move on to the actual production of healing potion next. I was anticipating having to teach Gazel the process from the ground up, given he had no real relevant knowledge, but with Vester and his spirit engineering experience, now it was a different story. I figured the two could work together on the project, with Gazel serving as Vester's assistant and cave bodyguard. Peaceful days have returned in Tempest. Just as Trainee warned, the town was now playing host to a wide variety of races. Seeking protection, the kobolds came first. Some of our other visitors included halflings and merfolk. The halflings swore their allegiance to us, and I had them work on our farms. The merfolk, meanwhile, were seeking protection. They lived nearby a large lake that had recently become infested with a growing horde of amphibious monsters. I ordered Benimaru to send a cleanup force their way. Most of the trade between us and the Dwarven Kingdom would involve traveling along riversides, and I was sure the merfolk could provide some assistance with that. If they were willing to work with us, they were more than welcome. As far as more uncommon visitors go, one time, when I was inspecting woods, I came across an insectoid, an insect-type monster that was near death. It was maybe a foot and a half tall, kind of a cross between a stag beetle and one of those big fighting ones, and I just thought it looked so cool. There was a dead blade tiger next to it, and imagining this small creature defeating such a formidable foe was remarkable to me. So I decided to take care of it. It was hostile at first, attacking me without a moment of hesitation. That seemed reckless, but I quickly realized the motivation. There was another insectoid behind it. It had attacked me so the other one could make its escape. I didn't notice the other guy until it spoke up. Wait, it pleaded. This one was about a foot tall and looked like a garden variety wasp. A foot-long wasp would be the subject of horror films in my world, but this one, too, was critically injured. It was intelligent enough, at least, to communicate with me via thought, albeit haltingly. Quote, why do you not flee? I have no way left to protect you. Forgive me, the insectoid who attacked me muttered, resigned to its fate. The other guy must have been pretty smart, too. And even though the blade tiger almost killed it, it was using whatever strength remained to confront me. It seemed to be choosing to die a noble death, perhaps realizing that the time was near. Strong one, the wasp asked me, you, protect us. Sure, I replied with a smile, don't worry, I will protect both of you. Then an idea hit me. Hey, can you guys collect nectar or whatever? Yes, can. I figured they might be able to collect nectar from flowers, and they could. That provided all the reason I needed to lend them a helping hand. They both had lost around half of their bodies, so I lent them a few cells from my own slime form to treat them, using processed magisteel to replace the missing parts of their exoskeletons. That, plus a dose of healing potion, fixed them right up. I named the cool-looking beetles Ejin and the wasp Apido, and now they were my subjects, or pets, or something. Trainee was kind enough to give them permission to stay with Treants, so I ordered Zejin to keep the Treants safe while Apido collected the treasure. It would then deliver the nectar spoils to me on regular occasions. So along those lines, we were starting to find more and more friendly people to interact with. But they weren't all friendly. Sometimes we'd get small gangs of lower-level magic-born sniffling around and spouting out classic hoodlum clichés like, woo, haha. What a fancy lookin' town this is. We're gonna treat it real good from now on. But Soe immediately took care of them. I told him not to kill anyone, so he tortures them and makes sure they never make same mistake again. So the city of Rimuru, in the heart of the Jura Tempest Federation, was doing a pretty roaring business, but then we encountered a guest we weren't expecting at all. My magic sense alerted me to a massive chunk of magic power flying our way at a speed I could only call ridiculous. Oh, crap. In an instant, I jumped off Xian's chest and headed outside the gate at a full clip. I was right to be concerned. The magic force changed its aerial trajectory and landed right in front of me. If it had gone inside town, I think we would have seen some substantial building damage. The nearby trees had been uprooted and blown away, and there was a crater on the ground where it landed. A powerful will hid behind her blue eyes, and her platinum-pink hair was done up in a pair of pigtails. She looked around 14 or 15, but there was no telling a magic-born's age from external appearances, and with the overwhelming amount of magical power that she didn't bother to hide, she couldn't have been the age she seemed to be. She was wearing an outfit that left quite a bit of skin exposed, made out of some unknown material. And more than anything, she was a beauty, the likes of which I may never have seen before. Before I could ask who she was, she arrogantly puffed out her chest, her breasts only barely developed. Hello, I am the Demon Lord Milim Nava. You look like the strongest hombre in town, so I wanted to come in, say hi. The beautiful and powerful girl declared. I somehow managed to avoid blurting, a Demon Lord, out loud. What was someone like her doing here? I didn't have to ask if she was real. The sheer force she exuded from her every pore was among the strongest I had ever seen. It was just as overwhelming as Veldora was. Plus, I mean, don't these people send their underlings for jobs like these first? Or, like, one of the 4 subazes. Something like that. I wanted to chide her but opted against it. Well, good afternoon, I said, eyeing her closely. My name is Rimuru, and I am the leader of this town. I am impressed that you recognize this slime as the strongest presence here. He, that's kid stuff for someone like me. My dragon's eye can measure all the magical energy people try to hide from me. Don't try to play the fool around me, you. She proudly boasted. By the way, she continued, is that how you really look? Was that silver-haired person I saw thrashing that bum Gelmid a transformation, then? Ah, did you mean this? I said as I transformed. My mask was off, there was no need to conceal my aura. Ooh, it was you. So you defeated the Orc Lord? I thought it consumed Gelmid and turned into a Demon Lord, kind of. Impressive. Yes, the Orc Lord evolved into an Orc disaster, but, well, I fought it and beat it anyway, I guess. So, I tried to change the subject. Are you just here to say hello today, or could I help you out with something? You aren't here to, say, take revenge for Gelmid, are you? Help me. I'm just saying hi, but, quote. Quote. An awkward silence. The Demon Lord Milim and I stared at each other wordlessly for a bit. Then, prepare to die. With a shout, Xian slashed at the Demon Lord. Wahahaha. Oh, did you want to play with me? With a teasing laugh, Milim stopped Xian's sword with her right hand. There was a high-pitched clang, like someone hammering at solid metal, and the sword was stopped cold. She took the long sword straight against her skin, and it didn't hurt her at all. Whoa, wait, guys. By the time I could tell them to stop, they were already making their next moves. Not even a Demon Lord can escape from this restraining web. Soe had used Demonwire Bind to capture Milim. Benimaru, meanwhile, was preparing to encase her in a Hellflare blast. And now, the final blow. Burned to a crisp, It was a merciless attack, one made with full knowledge that this was a demon lord. They put every ounce of energy they had into it. I imagine that was the ogre's best idea for dealing with something like this. But, wahahaha. Impressive. If it was any demon lord except for me, I'm not sure that kind of attack would leave them unhurt. You might even be able to defeat them. But, her aura began to rapidly expand. Then, another shock wave, as if a volcano had just exploded on the spot. She hadn't unleashed an attack or done anything, really all she did was unleash the aura she had been keeping restrained. Quote. It won't work on me. In a moment, the web restraining Milim was shredded to fine pieces. She had her freedom back. So now what? Right this moment, all four of my allies Xian, Benimaru, Soe, and Ranga were on the ground. Not dead, but certainly out of the battle. But Xian and Benimaru still found it in themselves to try to stand up, giving me a chance to flee. You just stay there and rest. I'll handle this. But, if I give up, this is over, so I'll do what I can, all right. I shrugged. Just don't expect too much. That seemed to calm them down a bit. There was no running away, and I had to give it a shot, at least. Ho, the demon lord gave me a curious smile, beckoning me with one hand. You want to take me on? This is fun. Of course, as far as I can tell, there's only one attack that stands a chance of working against you at all. Oh, think you have the confidence to try withstanding it? I knew full well, frankly, that nothing I could do would win this. How should I put this? Less than understood. The measurable phase indicates a magical energy supply at least 10 times greater than yours on the low end. On the high end, it is immeasurable. Greater than. I suppose the Raphael put it a lot better than I could. And one's magical count wasn't everything, really, but being outclassed 10 times over was a tad insurmountable. No wonder the ogre's full-bore attacks didn't work. So there's just one strategy for me to try. If it was a given that none of my skills would work, I'll just have to form a plan using the items I have on me. All this, of course, assumes that Milim falls for my prodding. Wahahaha. All right, sounds fun to me, but if it doesn't work, promise me that you'll become my servant, all right? Ooh, there's a stroke of luck. She's even more generous than I thought. The fact she wasn't going to kill us all despite our preemptive attack was a big win. We could just be her lackeys for life instead. That works. Okay, you got it, but if it does, you're gonna let my team here go unpunished, okay? All right, let's get this going already. Accepting my challenge, Milim gave me an expectant look. I'd better live up to her expectations. With a kick against the ground, I ran with all my might toward her. Without removing my sword, I stormed straight toward her and created a small sphere of water in the palm of my hand. She looked on, full of curiosity, as I approached at full speed. She could tell exactly how I was moving, so I knew no underhanded tricks would work. Take this. I stopped right in front of the demon lord, then threw the sphere of water at her. She seemed breezily nonplussed by this, knowing full well this wasn't much of an attack. That's why she let it splash against her, uncontested, right on her mouth. This bit of water wasn't an attack at all. It was just there to ensure the item I had for her didn't spill out mid-delivery. Now it was just a matter of whether Milim took an interest in this item or not. Our entire fate rode on her reaction. What is this? I've never eaten anything so delicious in my life. She shouted at the top of her lungs, clearly excited. Her cute little tongue was licking at the droplets stuck to her lips. Phew, looks like victory is mine. Ha. What's wrong, demon lord? I grinned as I conjured up another water sphere to show her. Lay a hand on me, and the secret behind what I just treated you with will be lost and buried forever. But if you accept that I won, I'll give you some more of that. Okay. Milim's eyes were fixated on the sphere, following it as I tossed it around in the air. She couldn't have been more enthralled. I was starting to feel like I could talk my way out of this after all. This was actually some of the honey that Apito was collecting for me after I rescued it. I'd be lying if I said I thought it'd come in handy at a time like this. I just hid it on me because I wanted to eat it later. Meanwhile, the demon lord Milim was clearly at an impasse. I could see she was having an internal conflict, interspersed with, NNHH. But, and other mutterings. Let's be doubly sure about this. I tossed the sphere I was playing around with into my mouth. This is good. Ah, phew, really good. Oops, I'm almost out. Wah, this is fun. She's just like a child, ripe for getting picked on. Less than master, you are bullying a child. Greater than tch. Tch. Raphael-chan, you don't get it. I was born a few months ago, which means I am a child too. I am not bullying her, it fights between two kids. Less than sigh greater than. Now that my conscience is clear, back to bull. Ahem, my fight. So you gonna admit that I won? Quote. Wait, I have a suggestion. Let's hear it. Call it a draw. How about we call it a draw this time? And what do I get out of agreeing to that? I'll forget about everything that happened. Oh, that's not all, either. I swear I won't meddle with you guys at all. And you know, if you have any problems, you can talk to me about them, okay? I won. Her strength was overwhelming, but inside, she was every bit the kid that she looked like. Against a grown-up's negotiation skills, she had no chance. Yep, grown-ups play dirty. Less than weren't you a child before? Greater than. What's this I can't hear? Did you say something to me? As I ignored Raphael, she heaved an exasperated sigh. Back to Demon Lord Milim. Sounds good to me. I accept. We'll call it a draw, then. Had a fair bit of inventory left, so I put a generous supply of honey into a jar and handed it to her. It wasn't a fancy jar, misshapen and handmade from clay, but Milim still accepted it with a smile, scooping a bit up and sucking at it with gusto. I had just healed the ogres and started to head back into town when I realized that Milim was following me. Holding the jar of honey drops carefully, the demon lord stuck right to my side in lockstep. Hey, she asked, sidling up to me as we walked. Hey, have you ever thought about calling yourself a demon lord, or trying to become one? Why would I want to put myself through that? I asked. She gave me a genuinely perplexed look in response. I mean, we're talking about a demon lord, here. They're really cool, you know. You kinda want to look up to them, right? Nope. Quote. It appeared that Milim the demon lord and I saw things in very different ways. We looked at each other. Well, let me ask you this. Do you get anything good out of being a demon lord? Well, all these strong guys seek you out to try to start fights. It's fun. I'm already getting in enough fights now, thanks. Not interested. Wah. Well, how do you get your fun in life? Oh, all kinds of things. There's practically too much for me to do, if anything. I only just got my hands on that honey a little bit ago. There's lots of other stuff I want, too, so I really don't have the time to be a demon lord. Is there something to it besides fighting? No, but, you can act all big around humans and magic born. Isn't that kind of boring? The question caused Milim to make a face like she was just struck by lightning. I guess it was kind of boring. I was so on the mark that she had nothing to say. Well, I guess you know my story now. Be careful on your way back home, alright. I thought that was a pretty smooth way to drop the hint. I was wrong. Wait, why you're doing stuff that's more fun than being a demon lord. That's not fair. It's totally not fair. Now I'm angry. Tell me what it is. And let me join you, too. I did my best not to call her a spoiled brat to her face. Just thinking of her as a child made dealing with her a cinch. Judging by our confrontation just a moment ago, it was super easy as an adult to talk around her. You can't try to read someone like this too deeply. Just work around her selfishness and nudge the conversation in your direction. That's the real key to it, and along those lines, I was already treating Milim like the children of my relatives. Alright, I'll tell you, but on one condition. Can you start calling me Rimuru-sama from now on? What? No, you're crazy. It should be the opposite. You need to call me Milim-sama. Don't go bandying about my first name like that. Alright, let's do this. I'll call you Milim, and you can just call me Rimuru. Sound good? MMMMHH. Well, okay, I got it. I'll allow you to call me just Milim. You better appreciate that, though. Only my demon lord friends are allowed that. Well, thanks. I guess we're friends now, too, Despite all the sparks, we had overcome our naming dispute. We'd just call each other by our own names, no honorifics or anything. Okay, well, I'll give you a tour of the city, but no wandering around by yourself, okay? Okay, Rimuru, The demon lord Milim to me was being oddly cheerful. Great, there's a good girl, and no starting fights in town without my permission, either. Promise me. Of course. I promise, Rimuru. We started our journey across town. By the time it ended it was almost dinner time, when most people would wrap up their work and gather around outdoors, and I figured it was high time to introduce her. I sent out the announcement for everyone to gather at the main square. They slowly filed in after finishing work, and once the square was filled up, I hopped up on the podium. So starting today, we'll have a new friend living with all of us. We'll be treating her as an honored guest, so I'd like you all to treat her politely for me. She's also promised to follow all the town rules, so if you see her violating any, please let me know. Next, Milim took the podium. I'm Milim Nava, she told the crowd, and starting today, I'll be living in this city. It's good to meet ya. Whoa, hang on, what do you mean, you'll be living here? That's exactly what I mean. I've decided to live here, too. Wait. Don't you already have someplace to live? Aren't there people you have to worry about over there? Oh, they'll be fine. I'll just go home every now and then, and it'll be no prob. Well, you heard her, so treat her well, I said, defeatedly addressing the crowd. Still, friends, was that really all right? Befriending a demon lord and all. I mean, in the short time we'd known each other, Milim seemed nice enough and all, but the girl herself, perhaps picking up on my whisper, began to blush. Yeah, she said, friends does sound kind of odd. Maybe not friends, so much as BFFs. BFFs? I hesitantly asked. Aren't we? I could see the tears welling in Milim's eyes already, but if anything, the hostile force in her already balled fists came even more quickly. Crap, kidding, BFFs forever, man. I quickly corrected myself. Now there's a mine I almost planted my foot on. I was not gonna go down the same road as Gabel, right, totally, you sure are good at scaring people. Milim beamed at me, indicating I had made the right call. Too easy, but still a tough one to handle. No letting my guard down any longer. This had been a real lesson for me. The land of Tempest had a new resident. To be continued.